Good day everyone, I am Jason van Heerden and I'm the Registered Dietitian at Irene Village Care. And today I'm very excited to talk to you guys about snacking. Alright, so snacking affects us all, but some more than others. And some of us, it is affecting us more because a lot of us are maybe working at home, especially now during quarantine. But in the future and in the past, we've all had periods of time where we will be snacking more. And what happens with snacking is we generally eat a bit more, and then so do our waist circumferences. So we're going to be talking about 3 things about snacking. So step number 1, and this is actually the golden rule, is that you cannot eat an unhealthy snack or an unhealthy food if it is not there in the first place. So if you know that you really struggle with sweets, or you really struggle with chips, or you really struggle with X, Y, and Z, then maybe it will be good if you don't buy it in the first place, or don't have it there in the first place. Or what you can do is that you can give it to someone else to keep for you. And there's other things we can look at. You can actually look at one of my previous videos on what to do when you want to have sweets and treats. So check that out. Alright, so now the first stage, what we're going to be looking at is how can I prevent getting snacky in the first place? And step number 1 is making sure that the first meal of your day, generally, which is obviously breakfast, is a good one. So what does it mean if it's good? So what does it mean is that it's generally high in protein and higher in fiber, or it's low GI. So basically what it means is it gives us sustained energy for a longer period of time, and then that means that we won't really have these dips. So if we are, for example, having, let's say, a cereal that is just basically sugar, is that we're going to have a spike of energy, but then it's going to crash, and then we're going to need a snack in order to sustain us, get that blood sugar up, and then you're going to be snacking a lot more. And if that snack is, should I say, a bad snack that's also it's a high in sugar and those type of things, you're going to go through a roller coaster through the day, and you're going to be eating a lot of snacks. So let's say, for example, for breakfast you have a good amount of oats and peanut butter, or let's say some eggs, scrambled or fried on a bit of low GI toast, or let's say some all bran or some other low GI cereals, for example, are good options. Of course, we need to look at portion sizes and those type of things. Then the second part is going to be drinking enough water. Alright, so a lot of times we can actually confuse being thirsty and hunger in the first place. So I actually created a whole video on water and how to get more in one of the videos. I'm actually going to leave a link at the end of the video. Please check that out on the channel. Won't go into that too much, but basically just know that we confuse a lot of times hunger with thirst. So make sure you're getting in your fluids in the day. And then the next part is that we need to talk about set meal time. So let's say we are at home or are at work and we struggle with snacking, it will be good to get a routine. So you know that you will have lunch at a certain time, it will help that you have supper at a certain time, or if you have snacks at a certain time. So you make sure that it's set healthy snacks, like let's say fruit or nuts or yogurt and those type of things. So you make sure that you get into your schedule, because if you fall out of schedule and you suddenly need to get something and you're out of, let's say it's out of what you normally do, and then you grab these bad snacks in that. But if you have a set time that you, let's say, go have lunch, then you know you're going to get a well-balanced meal that you've set beforehand. And a lot of us do struggle with that. A very easy and practical tip is for supper, make sure that you make a double portion, and then take that second portion and then take it for lunch the next day. So that way you know that it's going to be an easy way to get in your good amount of protein, a good high fiber starch within the portion controls, getting in those vegetables, and it's the way you like it, and that way you make sure that you're going to get a meal that's going to sustain you for longer. Of course, the dietitian can help you in what to do there and the right portion sizes. Alright, so the next part we're going to be talking about is that gray area, that part in between. So A is preventing getting hungry or snacky in the first place, and then the last one, meaning when you actually snack, what are you supposed to do? I want to talk about that gray area. And a lot of us get this feeling of, oh, when do you feel that you're actually snacky? So we need to look at a few factors, right? And A, we must realize that you might actually be hungry. And if you are hungry and you feel blood sugar going down, or if you haven't eaten in a while, then I'm not saying you must not snack. It definitely has its place. But let's say you do know, listen, am I actually just bored? So that's the first question we need to ask ourselves. Am I hungry, or am I just bored? And especially the boredom part I want to talk about, because a lot of us, I think also look at myself. We spend a lot of time behind our computers. We might get a bit stressed, those type of things. And then we've been sitting in a fixed place. We haven't moved. We haven't stand up for a while. And we actually crave a bit of, other stimulation. So a lot of people go on Facebook and Instagram and all those other good things, other social medias, to take a break because it's a different stimulation. Okay. But what a lot of us actually just need is to just get up, walk around, get some sun. So I know if I feel, listen, I'm actually snacky or bored, maybe I'm a little bit overwhelmed, it will be good to just get out the office, go for a quick walk around, get some sun, and then get myself an apple, for example. Then that way I'm getting a nice crunch, getting a nice other stimulus, and I know if I come back genuinely, I've taken my overstimulation, so to say, and dealt with it. And I realized, listen, I wasn't actually snacky, I was actually just bored or overwhelmed. Kind of a golden rule is that if you ask yourself, if I had an apple or a carrot in front of me and I ate that, would that be good enough as a snack? Would that satisfy just that crunch and that snack that I need? And if not, maybe you are just bored and maybe you do need to just get up, walk around, get yourself a bit of water, and maybe have that apple or carrot just to get that crunch in. And then I want to talk about a very unorthodox way of going about it. And I found that this has actually worked for a few people. So when you guys wake up and you guys brush your teeth, hopefully, you know that after you've brushed your teeth, you probably don't want to drink a glass of orange juice, or you probably don't want to have your cereal because it's really going to taste bad. And sometimes what actually works quite well is some people do actually just go brush their teeth. If they know, listen, I know I'm just a bit overwhelmed and I'm just list for something, but I can't get that sensation away, just go brush your teeth. Of course, this is something that we can do every now and then, but it shouldn't become your coping mechanism. So if you find that you're brushing your teeth more than 2 or 3 times a day, maybe that's not the best things, don't do it compulsively. But if you know that like one time a month that you just really you're not actually hungry, you just have this insatiable snacking monster that's eating away at you, maybe just go brush your teeth. And now we get to the third stage. So let us say now, after all those things, you say, listen, I'm going to have a snack. Either your blood sugar is dropping, or you feel like, listen, I know I just need something to snack on. We must first ask ourselves the question, what am I actually list for? What do I actually want? Do I want something salty? Do I want something crunchy? Do I want something sweet? Do I want something butter? Really just take 5 seconds and just ask yourself, what am I actually after? And then from that, we can actually make very good decisions. So let us take the first part, right? And that is crunchy. So if you want something crunchy, then there are apples. And then there's a whole bunch of fruit that we can go through. Apples just generally work the best at office or at home. And any type of vegetables. So I mean, even let's say, for example, a carrot, a gherkin, a whole bunch of other things like celery, tomato, peppers, those type of things that you would just get a nice crunch in, that you might enjoy. And that might actually satiate you, that you feel like, listen, this is actually satisfying, that is good enough. Even if that's not good enough, something like popcorn. So there is a general way of looking at it that basically 3 cups of popcorn is the same as a handful of crisps. So now that both of them you're getting a nice salty crunch in, but that popcorn has got quite a bit more fiber, it's going to keep you fuller for longer. We're just making slightly better choices. On the popcorn, we're now going to be talking about the second aspect, and that is saltiness. So some people just really just are list for something salty. So I mean, there are a few options. Let's say, for example, there's a bit of cottage cheese that you can have with, let's say, the celery or something like that, or even a bit of cottage cheese on, let's say, a cracker bread or pavita or something like that. And even putting a little bit of Bovril or Marmite on. I know it is very, very high in salt, but for some people that don't really have salt in the rest of the day and they just want something quick and salty, that can also work. Even something like a gherkin, and like we mentioned before with the popcorn, having a bit of popcorn with a little bit of salt on, you get that crunch, you get that salt, but not as many calories. All right, then we get the third aspect. So that is then going to be our sweetness. So with the sweetness, that gets to a lot of people. So we just want all the, the sweets and the chocolates and all those good things and the biscuits, and we can't seem to help ourselves. But what are some of the practical ways that we can do to, let's say, control the damage? So the first thing I would suggest is get yourself some sugar-free cool drinks. So basically with that, I mean, there's hardly any kilocalories at all, and you're also going to get your fluids in. So have yourself a cup of that, and that might actually satisfy your sweet tooth. The second thing is that you can get yourself some sugar-free chewing gum. Of course, we don't want to be chewing for way too long, but the thing is that just get that nice little sweetness in there. Maybe you need a bit of fresh breath after lunch, and you just want something sweet in there. Maybe a bit of sugar-free chewing gum can also work. Then the third aspect is maybe making yourself just a bit of tea, and you can put a little bit of honey in, or maybe even a teensy bit of sugar in there, just to get that sweetness in. Add yourself a bit of milk if you want to or not, and that way it's a hot drink or a cold drink, depends on you, that you can then sip over a longer period of time, and that might actually be better for you, that you can sip on, that you can get that sweet tooth kind of satisfied over there. So try that out. Then the last aspect is, well, the last part of the sweetness is actually going to be having chocolates and sweets and cookies, right? You think, but Jason, no, that's a horrible idea. I'm not going to be eating. I know if I have that, slab of chocolate, I'm going to finish the whole thing. And I actually covered this in my previous video on sweets and treats. So that's going to be just a quick summary on that, is that let's say you're at home and listen, my soul food is a bit of chocolate, but you're going to have the whole thing. So what you do is that you get a non-see-through container, and then you actually take that chocolate, and let's say there's 10 rows, and you break it up and you put it into 10 small plastic bags, right? Then you put it in this box. The plastic bags are important, or even small little Tupperwares, right? That you put inside there, because self-control, you're just gonna take that whole, that self-control is bad, you're just gonna take that whole slab, right? So then if you put it in small little packets, it's so easy to just take a little small packet that has 1 or 2 blocks in there, or sweets, or whatever sweet you like in there. And then what you do is that you just take that out, you close the Tupperware, put it back in somewhere that you're not going to see it often. So for example, don't put it, let's say, where you get tea and coffee, but rather maybe where your cereals are that you don't normally go to. So then from there you can then take that sweet and then you enjoy it, guys. Snacking isn't bad. Food is there. Food is great, guys. But the thing is, the snacking monster can really attack us a lot sometimes. Then number 4 is that sometimes we just want something bitter. So maybe a bit of dark chocolate, or maybe a bit of coffee. That might actually do the trick for you. Or maybe even something like, some people find that grapefruit is quite a different kind of a taste. You get that nice sour taste in there, a bit of a sour bitter, and for them that's actually good enough, and that's actually what they're seeking. Now I have a bit of a bonus for you. So this, some people love it, some people find it super weird, but what if you want something sweet and salty and crunchy, right? And that's super easy to get. And some people actually just like taking an apple, cutting it into, let's say, 4 or 8 slices, and putting a pinch of salt on it. That pinch of salt brings out such a nice, that savory taste, and you also get the crunchiness and the sweetness and the saltiness. Some people even like to put a little bit of peanut butter on there. If you like it, if you don't like it, comment below, tell me if it's for you or if it's not. And my second bonus thing that I'd like to suggest is actually getting yourself a 6-pack of yogurt. And what you do is you take 6 little spoons, or something that will be easier to just hold on to, and actually put them inside the yogurt and then freeze them. So what that does is that, let's say you want something nice and cool, or something that you can nick for a longer period of time, and it's going to be a longer snack, so to say. It's not just something that you gulp down within 5 seconds and then you don't feel satisfied. Then you have these frozen yogurts that all you do is you literally just pull them out, and you obviously take off that little wrapper, and then you can lick it and then you enjoy it. Yes, it might get a little bit messy, but generally, because it's frozen, straight from the freezer, it's actually easier to snack on. It's an easy way to get your calcium in. It's an easy way to get a bit of protein in, and also if it's a low sugar yogurt, it might actually sustain you for a bit longer. And then, yeah, guys, so that's just an extra tip that I found works very, very well, especially on those hot days. Alright guys, so in summary, there's basically 4 aspects. So the one is just the golden rule of, remember, you can't actually eat a bad snack if it's not there in the first place. So remember, that is a really, really big golden rule, so that that, look, if there is only healthy foods to snack on, like let's say fruit and vegetables, then you're more likely going to snack on those than those other bad snacks. Second thing is then going to be preventing getting snacky in the first place. As you mentioned, those load your eye snacks, getting a set meal time, having those things available for you. Then the third part is just going to be, remember, in between, so that kind of gray area of actually snacking, is that, are you actually bored? Do you just need a different type of stimulation that we then substitute, actually, let's say walking around and moving, then actually with a type of food just to get that crunchiness or saltiness in, to substitute it. And then lastly, when we do actually snack, what do I actually want? What is the taste that I want? And then from there we can actually make better decisions, and we can reduce the damage, so to say. So I want to ask you guys, what is your favorite snack that you like to snack on? I actually challenge you, what is A, your favorite snack, and B, what is your second healthy snack that you like to snack on? Guys, please remember to leave a like, and as well subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Cheers, bye.